When I first got to Congress, there was a couple of people I needed to meet right away. And one of those people is here with us today. And that was Congresswoman Barbara Lee. A woman who stood by herself on the floor of the House of Representatives on a war that history will prove worthless and a waste of time, stood by herself, took the criticism, and said, I want you to also meet this woman. And with that, let me introduce my friend and someone who has been a consistent help to me since I got to Congress, my good friend, the Congresswoman from Oakland, Barbara Lee.
So that's why tonight I want to talk just a little bit about what's at stake in 2012, because the American dream really is on the line. And we have to work like never before to re-elect Raul Grijalva. That's the first thing you have to do here. We have to do. So our goal really could not be more clear, and the stakes could not be higher. What we need is a plan, and that's what hopefully our Democratic Party platform is and will be. It's a plan really to turn this nightmare for so many around and reignite the American dream for all. And Democrats, and yes, progressive Democrats, Raul, you, my brothers and sisters, have that plan and really are leading the way. You're leading the way in our dreams. So what does it call for? Of course it starts with jobs. We all know that jobs are the pathway out of poverty, and really jobs are the best deficit reduction strategy around. We know that. And yes, nothing is more central to that plan to reignite the American dream than direct and significant job creation efforts on behalf of our federal government. Significant investments in creating jobs. And so we've been trying, and we need to keep trying to pass the President's American Jobs Act. And that should be the first step if we could get the Tea Party Republicans to get committed, really committed to creating jobs. Enough of this Republican obstructionism and barriers to job creation. We see this and deal with this each and every day, and it is painful because we know what this nightmare is out here in the country. Our plan must also extend unemployment benefits to all of those who have exhausted their benefits, including long-term unemployed and those who are slipping into poverty and despair. And can you believe just recently this deal was cut where, and Raul didn't vote for it, neither did I, where unemployment benefits were reduced, mind you, were reduced. And here we have people who have hit the 99-week limit, and we have a legislation to extend that for at least 14 weeks until we can figure out what to do to create some jobs. And here they cut them back to, like, in some states, 70 weeks, going in the wrong direction. What are people supposed to do? They need this bridge over troubled waters. Also, our plan to reignite the American dream must say and state how we implement a fair taxation policy that taxes the rich more than the poor. It's about time. It's about time. It's about time. That's just tax fairness. That's just fairness. Also, our plan must put an end to these corporate welfare schemes that really bankrupt our communities. They bankrupt. And you know, and I know Raul knows, we got to get this unlimited and secret money out of politics by overturning Citizens United and Clean Money Campaign. I mean, can you believe? You're not going to let any super PAC come in here and mess with Raul, I know. Because I know that. You know, this corporate money in campaigns, this non-disclosed, undisclosed money is really at the core of shattering our democracy. Corporations are not people. corporations are not people. And yes, as I said, our plan has to include the eradication of poverty and make this a priority. Economic justice should be the law of the land. And so it's well past time that our country confronts income inequality. Income inequality head on. Yeah, the 99% deserve a voice. The 99%. And really, under Raul's leadership with the Progressive Caucus, thank God we have a voice and a lobby and a caucus for the 99% in Congress. We do. We just have to make sure we win in November, because we have an agenda and a plan. Also, our plan must protect our environment, our air, our water, and promote, yes, environmental justice, so that we can build healthy environmental justice. I know you know what that's about. To build safer and cleaner communities for all. And yeah, you know, Raul's been telling me about what's been going on with the Rosemont Mine. So I know many of you are organizing around that to reject that. I mean, he's been keeping me up to date on that, as well as efforts to cut ethnic studies in schools. I mean, come on. Can you believe that? I know you're gonna beat that back too. You're gonna fight all these attempts to turn us back. Yep. And of course, our plan must end this war on women. And there is a war on women. There is a war on women. I mean, you would think in 2012, protecting women's fundamental reproductive freedoms and a basic right to contraception should just be a given. Should just be a given. But you know what? They're trying to turn the days back to the day, they're trying to turn the clock back to the days that I know you remember. And we're not gonna let them go back there. We're not gonna let, I know women are not gonna let that happen. And yes, our plan must stand up for our labor unions by ensuring the right to organize, for fair and living wages, benefits, and pensions for all. Labor unions have provided that path to the middle class. Whether a worker was in a labor union or not, labor unions created that path. And now we see union busting taking place all over the country. So our plan has to stand up for working men and women and for our labor unions. We must do that. I'm laying out this plan because I want you all to check this platform of the Democratic Party and make sure that we go do what we say, not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. Okay? So read it carefully. We've got to ensure universal preschool and improve our public schools and expand access to higher education. Every child deserves a quality public education. Every child. And of course, we've got to build on the historic gains. Now, Raul and I negotiated a lot of the provisions of the Affordable Care Act, and that was a wonderful, great first start. And we've got to make sure that these gains are protected and that everyone has quality, affordable health care in this nation. We've got to do that and build upon that. Got to build upon that because there's still work to do. There's still work to do. And of course, you know, the landmark DoddFrank Wall Street Reform Act, finally we've got some consumer protections from the big Wall Street scam artists, which some of them are, that caused the financial services industry to allow for subprime lending that caused people to lose their homes and their equity and their access to the American dream. So finally, we've got some protections through our Consumer Finance Agency, because corporate greed has been running rampant in America, rampant. And we've got to protect the Dodd-Frank legislation. And of course, you know what the Tea Party Republicans are trying to do in terms of Medicare, and so it's up to us to protect Medicare, Social Security. Do not let them privatize it. Don't let them turn it into a voucher. You don't want that? And our basic human needs programs, they would privatize, cut, and shred them. Again, the importance of re-electing Raul can't be overstated because everything I'm saying, Raul has led on, and he's fighting for. He's fighting to ensure that we have fair, just, and inclusive, comprehensive immigration reform. Raul's fighting for that. It's past time we do that for our children, for families, and for our country. And of course, we need to, and I know here in Tucson, you take pride in diversity. We've got to promote equality for all and reject the institutional racism, and yeah, racism, classism, sexism, anti-immigrant bias, all that is still alive and well, and you know it. It's still alive and well, and so we have to, as Democrats, as supporters of Raul Grijalva, reject all of that and fight against it. And we can pay for these vital investments by redeploying our budget priorities away from senseless wars and back into our communities, back into nation building. And we should and can end this war in Afghanistan now. Not another dime, I don't think. Not another dime for this war. Not another dime. Except to bring our troops and contractors home safely. We have to make sure that our veterans receive the health care and the mental health care that they so deserve. They deserve that. And so I just want to thank all of you for coming out tonight, and thank you for being such an enlightened constituency. Thank you for your support for Raul. Thank you so much for putting Arizona on the map. That I am a Grijalvista. And thank you to all of the Grijalvistas in the room.